was confused by the way Cathy was behaving, but it must be because her memory went back to a time before now, when she was able to wake up, which could be any time other than now.
Kurai, I missed you so much. I can tell you've finally come back to me, and I have done the same for you,
she said, making Kurai blush. Cathy, but I thought you would hate me after what I did to you, he whispered, before she moved her head out of his chest to cup his face in her hands.
I don't blame you for what he did to us. I was too trapped in my body, just watching as I could see him affecting you with that girl,
she said gently, kissing his cheeks. All is forgiven, he said, before kissing her on the lips. He blushed before Kokichi moved to grab my hand. I looked over at him, and he had tears in his eyes. I felt concerned about this before I realized he was happy, because Cathy and Kurai made up. I can't say I didn't feel the same, because they have had to go through so much because of D&D, and his jealousy that could have torn them apart.
Hey, Shu. I want you to hold me because I'm really exhausted from what happened before,
Kokichi said, in a teasing tone before I just smiled and wrapped my arms around his shoulders. I could feel his tense muscles for a moment, before he just relaxed against me. I love being able to make him feel this safe and relaxed, even if I am a little embarrassed because other people are around. Of course I can hold you, I said, with a little laugh before I kissed the top of his head. Just wrap your arms around me. You don't even have to ask, my love. I gently ran my fingers through his hair, as my other hand stayed on his back to hold him close to me. He moved his arms around my torso, under my arms, letting him get closer to me, as we connected again after this intense moment.
I love you so much,
he whispered gently. Because of these words, I was able to become red in a matter of seconds. I felt so loved, and like I can keep him safe no matter what comes our way. I never want to leave his side again. But I do know in moments he is going to have to be away from me, which is okay, because there are going to be moments I need to be away from him, regardless of how anxious that makes me feel. I just let myself hold him against me, because in this moment, it was a moment of reconnecting for all of us. Anaki came over to us, making me loosen my grip on Kokichi. He slowly looked over at her, as he was still clinging to me. The fact that he was still clinging to me made me blush a lot, and I felt embarrassed because Anaki was there. Hey, Kokichi. I can take you both back to the base. Well, the main house, that is, she said gently. So, if you both would like to be able to be in the back of the car, while Cathy and Kurai are able to have the front seat in the middle of the car, she said, making Kokichi laugh a bit.
Of course we would want to. I would love to be with my beloved,
he said, making me flustered all over again. I felt very confused about how he was making me so flustered all of a sudden. But it was nice to me in its own way. Because, sure, I hate blushing in front of other people, but when it's Kokichi making me flustered, it's more endearing in its own way. Well, we should get back to the base, because Riko's come back after Jodian was buried, Anaki said, making me feel guilty all over again. I remember that moment when his life was taken away from him, and how much pain that caused him. I moved over to Kokichi, who was sobbing in a ball on the floor. Jodian was in his arms, and there was some blood coming from his mouth, as well as his neck. Kokichi just kept crying as he held him close to his chest. Kokichi, I whispered, while I went to wrap my hands around him. This was to keep my voice calm, so as to not cause panic.
No! Get the hell away from me, you monster!
He yelled out, pushing my hands away, making me flinch. Kokichi? I asked gently, trying to get back to his side again. He just pushed me away, and this time he stood up, holding Jodian in his arms.
Stay away from me. You're the reason he's dead,
he cried out, making Cathy rush over to him. She grabbed his arms and held them behind his back.
Calm down, Kokichi.
She said in a half yell. He started struggling against her, but it wasn't much use, seeing that Kokichi was a new vampire and was still getting used to his strength and other abilities.
But he killed him! Jodian is gone because of him. Who the hell are you, you bastard?
He screamed out, making my face fall into a frown. He's right. If I never told him about this, if I never came into his life, then maybe Jodian would still be alive. Maybe all of them would be safe.
Shuichi, wait. He isn't in the right mind right now.
Cathy called out to me, but I held my hand up to her. Don't, I said, feeling some tears come to my eyes. I let my hair fall in front of my eyes before I whispered, then I'll leave Kokichi. Sorry for messing up your life. I whispered, letting my feet slowly move toward the hole in the wall. I felt a feeling come over me, making me feel so useless and worthless that I couldn't even tell where I was going. Tree after tree, town after town. I should have been better for him. But, that was in the past. We have one another now, don't we?
Shuichi?
Kokichi asked, making me flinch a bit. I looked over at him, and he looked guilty to me. Maybe he remembered the same memory.